Hey, Tracy Repchuk here. Welcome to this episode of Tech Talk with Tracy. And I am so excited because my event is coming up, www.businessonlinemastery.com. And it is one of the favorite things that I get to do with you. And while I was out, I wanted to broadcast this for you. And here's why. I'm actually in my favorite store. And so my favorite store is IKEA, and for a number of reasons. They are masters of marketing. And let me give you a little bit of the history of IKEA so you can actually take a look at them with a new perspective next time that you come. And so the first thing is, and I have to read this because I can't pronounce it barely. IKEA stands for, and it was created in 1943 by Ingvar Kamprad. And I love this. He was 17 years old. Here's the really cool thing though, is he started it as a office supply. He was just doing mail order. 17 years old, 1943. It blows my mind. And so IKEA stands for Ingvar Kamprad, IK, of Elmatrid and Aganeria. I think that's where he lived. IKEA. Very smart branding man. He already knew to acronym that down and never talk about it again, because quite frankly, no one can pronounce that, right? Okay, so here's the cool parts about IKEA. I'm going to touch on some of the masteries of what he did. 1948. So 5 years into his business, he starts to see that all the local farmers need furniture. And so he creates now this furniture division of his company, and he starts to manufacture furniture. Boom, that takes off. Here's what I love about that, is the very first advice I got as an entrepreneur was to find a need and fill the gap. That's being an entrepreneur. That's the only thing you need to know. And what did he do? He found a need and he filled a gap. Okay, so 1951, he starts the very first catalog, and out goes the IKEA catalog. Again, genius, direct mail marketing. Okay, 1953, he wants to expand. He realizes that the portability of furniture is critical to him kind of moving out and being able to sell differently. And so he comes up with a way to now engineer and manufacture what we start to see today. Again, find a need and fill the gap. He saw that big bulky furniture wasn't for everybody, and that going to a store wasn't necessarily the only way to get the furniture. Okay, 1958, the first store is opened. Here's what I have adored about IKEA forever. And that is, they have had this self-serve restaurant. He knew one of the lost leaders was self-serve restaurant and a child's play area. Do you, again, talk about being ahead of your time, knowing that when a adult has a distract-free shopping experience, they will buy. Why? A distracted buyer never buys. And he knew that even then. That's why your website, when you put that together, navigation streamlined. Your message is clear, and you got buy now, buy now, buy now buttons. Why? We want to create a very easy experience and a distract-free experience. And that's what he did back in 1958. So here's what I like. 1960, okay? Ingvar sees that the television is going to boom. There's going to be one in every house. He needs to add a whole television division to his company. Here's the thing though, right? And here's again what I love. When he added this, it became such a nightmare to manufacture, source, put together, and sell and support. It practically and almost bankrupted the company. Boom. He gets rid of televisions as fast as possible and realizes niching to furniture is his sweet spot. I want you to think about that. Are you doing something that is sucking away all of your profits? Are you diversifying your time so much that you can't stay focused and you can't hone in on where the money lies, right? Okay, boom, 1968. Here's another genius moment, honestly. So impressed. He comes up with a corporate culture. Okay, we think Google and all of these new fad companies came up with that, right? No, 1968, IKEA creates the first corporate culture. And he starts to realize the experience that people want. He starts to, boom, I'm not in my living room, right? I am in the great IKEA living room. My kids actually come to these things and they hang out. They sit with their friends like they're watching TV, for goodness sakes. I mean, literally, talk about taking the need to think out of the shopping experience. You just come into a room like this and you say, I like it. I will take this. Here's my couch for $179. Here's this. Oh, look, they've even got my coat hanging up. You have to do that for your customer. You have to make the purchase no-brainer. Because when you just lay out a couch and you go couch, 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 people can't think along those lines. Now they have a whole pile of decisions and they can't conceptualize what they need to put together. Now they have done the work for you. Okay, here's the other cool part. 1968, he knows in order to be able to expand the way he wants, he has to get in a computer to start to manage the manufacture and delivery of all these pieces. Can you imagine all the millions of pieces he had to deal with as far as manufacturing and sourcing is concerned, right? So he has the very first computer come in. It takes up an entire room for one computer, but he knew he had to get this structure and system in place. Then, let's see, 1971, he adds the self-storage area, you know, where we can go down and pluck it out ourselves, right? So first it's just a showroom, you have to order. Now he adds the self-storage area where you can be like, oh, I can go get that down at aisle 3, bin number 20, right? So now he's added another element here. And he's got that going. Here is, talk about ahead of your time. Okay, you know how I feel about books. You know how I feel about you being an author, about you being in front of people, especially if you're a CEO, getting in front of your brand, right? Boom. 1976, he publishes a book. Here's the title of it, because most of you probably do not have a copy of this on your desk, right? It's called Testament of a Furniture Dealer. Worst title in the world, but the man wrote a book. I think it's great. Here's one of the really cool parts about that is he has 4 philosophies, and I want you to see if you can add these philosophies to your life. First, profit gives us resources, okay? How many times do you meet somebody that says, oh, I don't need to make any money, no, you know, whatever, right? Whatever mindset you have, you're limiting your monetization or attraction of money, right? He turns that around and says, look, this isn't just about that. It gives you resources. You can support other people, support other charities, support yourself and your family, and give to who or what you need to so that other people have resources that they need. Here's the next one. Simplicity is a virtue. Boom. Says it all. The number of clients that come in the door with me that have this, 45 revenue streams and no revenue, okay? You have to keep your life simple. Keep your structure simple. Again, at the Business Online Mastery, I'm going to be talking about this like crazy, especially how do you put together the build of your $1 million design? How do you get all of these pieces in place? When do you add a new revenue stream? Okay, all of these elements play a key and critical factor. Okay, so the next one, doing it in a different way. Okay, so this is really important. As you saw, the traditional furniture dealer had a big, huge, bulky piece of furniture. You loaded it in a truck or in a car and you left with it. What does IKEA come along and do? How can I make it that it can pack in a box like this, right? And how can you go home and build it yourself? So I can stock, 1,000 couches at 20 different varieties in a warehouse and just show you the one and have you take it with you. So incredible, as he saw, again, how do I think differently? And we've seen a lot of companies come along and think differently, and those are the ones that pop in the marketplace. That's like, if you can't think differently, then that's where the unique selling proposition just becomes so important, right? Why you, why now? What's unique about you? So it's important that you add that element to your marketing strategy. Okay, his last philosophy, love this. Most things still remain to be done. A glorious future. Think about that for yourself. A glorious future. And most things remain to be done. Talk about planting that seed of creating your own future, of kind of understanding that the best is yet to come and that you are in the driver's seat for all of it. I just think that's so profound from one person who, quite frankly, we don't hear a lot about. And yet, he is the number 45 world's most valuable brand. They're worth $84 billion. They have 373 stores in 47 countries. He knew in 1980 that expansion needed systems, and he knew in 1983 that he created a formula to do it. That's what I'm giving at Business Online Mastery. So what do we have in common is the formula. We also have another thing in common that you're going to have to come to the event to see, because I have an IKEA item that is at every single one of my events, and then I tell you why. So there's kind of a brief history. Honestly, if you want to respect and admire a company, I want you to stroll with different eyes next time you go through IKEA. I want you to understand the marketing genius that they have at every single piece of their store and of their warehouse and of their self-serve kiosk and of their restaurant. I have never been to a store where every day, no matter what the hour is, the store doesn't open till 10. 9:30 there's a lineup. Not once in a while, every single day. Why? The restaurant opens for a 99-cent loss leader breakfast. Genius. Always filling the store. So that's what I want you to understand. That's your market funnel. Fill your store. Find out what they want. Bring them in. Give them the experience that they're looking for. And at businessonlinemastery.com, I am going to give you the blueprint. I'm going to take that philosophy that I love about IKEA. I'm going to put it into an online blueprint. You're going to learn it step by step, and you're going to leave with your own. I hope that you are going to be there. So go to businessonlinemastery.com, and I look forward to seeing you soon.